This is the Aftermarket Radio Network. It's your Weekly Blitz with Chris, keeping you in the game.
Are you ready to supercharge your auto repair business? This is Coach Chris Cotton from AutoFix Auto Shop Coaching. The Weekly Blitz is where industry expertise and business innovation collide, revving your engines for the week ahead. Every episode has game-changing insights, up-to-the-minute industry updates, and practical tips to shift your business into high gear. We're talking about stuff you didn't even know, folks. This episode is brought to you by Shop Marketing Pros, who are the experts in marketing for top-tier auto repair shops. If you're running a successful shop and want to take you to the next level, then Shop Marketing Pros is without a doubt your best option. From websites and SEO to social media and digital ads, Shop Marketing Pros help shop owners like you fill your bays, grow your revenue, and build the life you've been working for. Are you ready to take the guesswork out of your marketing? If so, I want you to visit shopmarketingpros.com/Chris to get a free digital marketing inspection and start building the shop of your dreams today. Hey, ladies, how are you doing this morning? Today, I have Caroline Legrone and Kim Walker from Shop Marketing Pros here with us. And hopefully I got your last name right. I'm always butchering somebody else's in Shop Marketing Pros first name, but hopefully we're all good.
It's good enough. It's Caroline Legrone, but I usually don't correct anybody. It's spelled like Legrand, but thank you for having us. Good morning, y'all.
Good morning. And Kim Walker as well. How are you doing, Kim?
Hey, Chris. Good morning. Happy Monday.
Yeah, it is a Monday. Happy Monday to you ladies as well. And hopefully the people listening get my tone, because this is a scolding tone, right? I'm going to scold them just a little bit, because I don't know how you've been feeling with shop owners on your end, but everybody's just complaining about car count and things are weird and everything else, which I get it. Things are weird and do feel a little bit different. But I feel like if people had a better hold or had some sort of a plan instead of just being willy-nilly, that they'd be better off.
Yeah, totally agree. Except I'm going to say this. Here's kind of my soapbox, my pet peeve. Every month, no matter what the month is, people have some reason. I think Brian has said this multiple times as well. I think he even recorded a podcast about it. It's always something. And most recently, prior to November, it was like the election is coming. Nobody's spending. Everybody is scared. And then the time right around the election, nobody's spending because it's election time. And then after the election, nobody's spending because we just had this election. Nobody really knows what's going on, or it's tax time, or it's back to school time, or whatever. There's always something. So yes, have a plan. Everybody knew what was coming. We know the calendar. We know that tomorrow is tax day, right?
There's always something, right? And it can be either individually on your local level, it can be nationally, it can be whatever. But I've said this quite often. Some people get on Facebook and complain, I don't have money for Christmas. Well, for crying out loud, Christmas comes the same day, same time every year. I'm blessed. Kimberly takes pretty good care of us. So she starts buying stuff for Christmas like December 26th. For the next Christmas. Mm-hmm. But for those that are listening that don't understand how a marketing calendar works, Caroline, can you tell us, kind of lay it out for all of us people that don't know? What is a marketing calendar and what should it do?
Yeah, I would say before you even have a marketing calendar, something that we encourage clients to, or whenever we're working with somebody on creating a marketing calendar, is looking back at the past years and kind of noticing these trends, right? Because if you pay attention and you look back over past years, you will probably see that you can find out when every April is slow right before tax season, but maybe it picks up a little bit after, or you're slow during the summertime when people are traveling, or slow around election seasons. Kim, I think, has a great story about when they found out their shop was slow, and it was the county fair. It was coming around every year. So when you start paying attention and noting those things just about what's happening in the shop before you even start worrying about the marketing side of things, you know how to market around those things, or you know when to market a little bit stronger, when to let things lay off. But that is what a marketing plan will do, is let you know what to do and when. And I know for those of you listening who aren't marketers, you're like, I don't know what to do in general. We have blogs, we have a lot of resources about it, but having something in place to just say, okay, I know I'm usually really busy around this time. Maybe I don't need to offer discounts around this time, around the holidays, but I know that I'm really slow around these other seasons, and being aware of that, to have something in place, maybe not discount specifically, but something in place that you're going to add a sponsorship for a local little league team in the spring, because you're usually kind of quiet around then, or host an event at your shop at another time where there's not as much going on and you have the flexibility to do something. It just gives you that framework of having something going on in your marketing, something going on for your shop at any given point throughout the year, actively or passively.
Yeah, I love that she started with the look back, because that's absolutely, she said, we have a story. Everybody has a story. Our story that brought us to the realization of having a plan and looking at the historical perspective of how your shop is performing at different times of the year was when we had our shop. It took us a couple of years to realize, but October was a disaster in North Carolina when it's absolutely gorgeous. People are out and about. There's really not a lot of reason for why we were so slow in October. And finally, we realized the North Carolina State Fair was happening. And we didn't just realize, but, we connected the dots and came to the realization that the State Fair was impacting us. So from that point forward, we put our brains together and we developed a program specifically around marketing with the State Fair, where we weren't like sponsoring the State Fair or anything like that. But what we did for our clients was we created sort of a tier program. And what I mean by that is if they spent up to a certain amount, right? Tier 1 meant we were going to buy their ticket into the State Fair. First of all, everyone got a shuttle to the State Fair. So we were able to kind of do a story brand approach before we even knew that story brand was a thing. Years ago, it wasn't a thing, where we were attacking the problem they had, which was, I want to go to the State Fair. I don't want to deal with parking. I don't want to pay $40 for parking. So we were like, drop your car off, get whatever service done, and we will bring you to the State Fair, drop you off, and here's your tickets. Actually, tier 1 was the shuttle, tier 2 shuttle, and we bought your tickets to get into the State Fair. And I think we did up to 4 tickets maybe. And then tier 3 was you get a shuttle to the State Fair, you get your entrance tickets, and we bought a certain number of ride tickets. And so depending on how much they spent determined what they were going to receive from us regarding the State Fair. So, kind of identifying what is the problem that is causing you to be slow. And if it is some of these, like tax time or back to school time or whatever, we know a lot of shops who say they're really slow in the summer, and they are doing these get your car ready for summer travel. They're doing their customer appreciation events at the beginning of the summer, that sort of thing. So one thing you said, Chris, at the very beginning was, we're going to talk to you about things you don't know. And the plan is one of those things. There are lots of shops that are just doing this on a whim day by day. And the other thing, and then I'm going to shut up, that I love about the marketing plan is that it gives you permission to say no. I know for us in our shop, we would have those salespeople that walk in the door selling you this magazine ad or this spot on this opportunity in this print piece or the radio or whatever. I was able to say, we put our budget together, our plan together back in October, and I don't have you in my plan. We'll need to talk about it for next year. So it gave me permission. It gave me the ease and the language to be able to tell people no and keep me on track with my plan.
And I hope everybody caught that. It allows you to tell those people no without being a bad guy too. Be like, oh, sorry, you missed our budgeting plan for that. And just instead of just saying no. And I know people can say no without having a reason, but it makes it easier. As an owner, you don't feel so bad, right?
And they honestly don't have a comeback for that either.
Right. There's not a comeback for that. Oops, I'm late. Like, that's the only thing. So kind of what sparked all this was spring break. And I know we still have some spring breaks going on across the country, but about 3-4 weeks ago, I started hearing from people, was like, man, it's slow. It's weird. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why we're slow, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, it's spring break time. Is it spring break in your town right now? And they're like, oh, it is. Well, so for one, you don't know when the spring break is. You should know that. And if you're like some of our clients are in Tucson, where half the town takes 1 week and then the other half takes the other week. And then you have bigger places that rotate through like 3 weeks. So depending on where you're at, you might get all or part of that. But really, what's your plan around that? And then two, you should have a marketing plan. But if you're going to be slow during spring break and you always know you're going to be slow, you should also be painting that week, cleaning up and getting ready. Because the one thing I know about being slow is everything always speeds back up again. So you might as well clean and be ready. But having said all that, I want to back up. Let's just take your state fair example and talk about that. It should be on your plan, number one, but state fair's in October. Because here's the other thing that I know shop owners ask me, and I'm sure I know 100% they ask you this. They call you up on the day they're slow and they're like, I'm slow today. Well, today's not the day to talk about being slow, right? Mm-hmm. So state fair, how far back do we need to be planning for the state fair? When does that go onto our calendar? And then what does that look like?
For me, it is being proactive instead of being reactive. Reactive is, oh my gosh, we're slow today. I've got to fill bays. I've got mouths to feed. And then you're having to activate your emergency slow day plan. You don't want to have to do that. So you need to be proactive, and it is looking ahead. So to answer your question about how long, if it's an event, depending on the size of the event, I'm generally speaking, and Caroline and I just taught a class on planning events at your shop. I think you need a good 6 weeks of promotion. The problem is so many people think that posting one time on Facebook or throwing the event on their website, maybe creating a Facebook event for the event is enough. It's not. When you are planning a promotion around a slow time, you should have multiple avenues of promoting that and doing it much more than one time. And the other piece of it is with regards to the budget is if you know that you're busy in July and August, you can back off on some of your ad budget maybe and take that ad budget and move it to the time when you know you're really slow. So you have to do that ahead of time. You have to do that with forethought and planning and being prepared for it.
I would say it depends on how, like when you start noticing in your shop again that you're starting to see the trend. And so it may take some prior paying attention to the past couple of years or looking back at your historical data to see like, okay, around what time last year did we notice the shop start getting slow? And we can maybe attribute it to the state fair happening. Say it starts about 2 weeks before the state fair because everybody wants to make sure they have their car to get there. They don't have anything else booked for that weekend. That maybe if that's 2 weeks, maybe about another 2 weeks ahead. So a month ahead, you start talking about your promotions for the state fair. I should have included this too, though. And looking at what's happening in the shop when you're planning your plan or trying to get a feel for the ebbs and flows in your shop, you should also be looking at your community calendar, your city, town, state, school calendars, academic calendars for local schools, universities, anything like that that is going to impact what's happening in your shop, because that's how you can line them up and have those two pieces connect, like Kim said, realizing the state fair was the weekend that was always slow. And when you know about those things, giving it I agree with Kim, I would say about 6 weeks. Like if you know that you're going to be slow about 6 weeks from now and you see that there's nothing out there, you're probably not booking out 6 weeks in your shop. But if you know that you're always slow around that time, increase your marketing efforts prior to that. There are some things that you can do if you are slow that day of and it was a last minute, some appointments got canceled and couldn't get rebooked and you have technicians sitting around bored for a couple of days. But when you know that that's coming, instead of waiting until that morning to see what happened, at least having a few weeks before there are your last minute things you can do. But I want to note an important thing that Kim said about like rearranging your ad budget during that time is she didn't say stop your marketing. She didn't say just turn off your ads or stop all of your marketing or just don't spend money or put effort into anything when you are busy, but to like take your foot off the brakes a little bit so that you have more fuel in the tank when you do need it there.
One of the things too that people are probably going to be saying is like, oh, well, I don't live in the town where the state fair is, so none of this is applicable to me. And I say hogwash to that. Like, you can take parts and pieces of this. Anybody can shut stuff down, but you have to figure out a solution to survive and thrive, right? Like, it's not like, don't be like, well, it worked here, but you have to find what's working for you. Again, to carry this out. So October 1st is the fair, and you said 6 weeks. So that means whatever plan you created has to be going the second week of August, right? Sounds like to me, if we map that back. So how far back before the second week of August are you making plans to make sure everything's lined up and ready to go?
Well, hopefully you're planning everything the year before or at the beginning of the year. It's obviously easier to start your year with a plan in place, but it's also, I did a Tuesday teaching in our Facebook group earlier this year with Laura Lee Schmidt and Savannah. Like, it's never too late to get started on your marketing plan. And that's what it was about. It's April right now while we're recording this. If you don't know what you're doing in May, that's okay. You can start right now. You don't have to have it all planned before the end of the year to start fresh for that year. Kind of like New Year's resolutions. Like, you can have everything planned whenever you want, but it's your decision on when you want to change your life and like start doing something differently. The simple answer is you need everything done and ready to go before you start. And if that means that it's the day before and you're finalizing things and it starts the next day, then that's what it is. There's not necessarily a framework or a magical equation to say that you need your plan and all of the assets and everything created in place XYZ amount of days before, or weeks or months before it goes into play. That's obviously easier. And I wish that there was some perfect framework, but I think that really is what works for you and your shop. And do you have somebody doing your marketing? Are you doing it yourself? Is it in-house and somebody else is responsible for it? And what is their capacity to get those things done? But prioritize it. Make sure you're sitting down with your team, the people who are responsible for these things, and at least knowing what's coming and having a plan or idea in place. And if it's somebody's responsibility to own it, then hopefully they're owning it and getting it done.
For me, as a shop owner, the very first thing when I'm thinking about the next year is, okay, when are we closed for the holidays and what do my holidays look like? And then that's when I start thinking about the rest of the marketing plan and what goes in there. Full disclosure, everybody knows you guys do the marketing for AutoFix and for Firestone of Durango. And I have all these lovely month by month breakdowns of like everything we're doing and when we're doing it. And then, of course, I get all these email reminders like, hey, Chris, we need you to approve this. We need you to approve this. So I strongly encourage shop owners that can't do it or won't do it to hire a professional to help them do it. But do you have any tips, again, for somebody that's trying to do this on their own?
I'll throw this in there and then Caroline can add to it. If I am a shop owner today, here's what I'm going to do. Okay. I am going to, no matter what day you hear this podcast, I'm going to go to my calendar and I'm going to block out a day or 2 days out of the shop, away from the shop in October. October, because if you don't do it in October, you wait until December. December is when you should be doing your promotion for January. So I want to back it up and give yourself plenty of time. So I'm saying find some time in October, go block it out, whether you stay home, maybe you take yourself away and go somewhere to do this. But I can't express how important it is that it's undistracted, right? If you're at the shop, people are coming in and out, you're going to be talking to this person. Like, you need to be undistracted. So set aside a day, 2 days would be amazing in a perfect world if you could possibly do that. And start with the big picture. Start with the whole year. And you've got maybe Brian bought this thing called the big ass calendar. That's literally the name of it.
I love that calendar, by the way. Yeah.
It hangs on his wall. Start with a big calendar where you're just kind of brain dumping, throwing all of the things from your head onto dates. Like, you know that, like in our case, we knew that the state fair was the first 2 weekends in October. Like, throw those things down. You know, spring break, the holidays, whatever it might be, whatever's happening, like Caroline said, in your community. Throw those obvious things out onto the calendar. Then I like to, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So let's break it down into quarters. Look at quarter one, look at Q2, Q3, Q4. Start going to those community calendars. Start pulling the data from your shop software on the car count and your revenue each month so that you can maybe put it on a line graph or really write it out and see when are my slow times? When are my busy times? Because if you go by feeling or perception, they are liars. You have to look at hardcore data, actual numbers that come out of your software. So then you have a gauge for, okay, I really need to do something that I haven't done at this time of the year, at this time of the year, at this time of the year. Once you've got it from a yearly perspective, a quarterly perspective, then you can break it down by the month. Some of our shop owners like to have a different theme each month. And that helps to direct, okay, what kind of content am I going to create? Caroline, I hope I'm not stealing all your thunder because she's really got great ideas. But from there, even then break down your marketing tactics, right? Social media, blogs, your community focus. Who are you going to sponsor? Who are you going to engage with? What memberships should you be looking at? BNI, the Chamber, the Rotary Club. Everybody has to eat lunch. Once a month, go to the Rotary and have lunch with some leaders in your community. So I like to say start big and then break it down to the small bite-sized chunks where you can then start labeling your focus and what you're going to be doing with that marketing.
Yes, I agree with that. Be wary of if you are going to use like the big ass calendar approach. There are things that do need to go on there and things that don't need to go on there. Put the things on there. If you're throwing it all up on the wall so you have a visual of it, put the things on there that truly are going to impact your shop. And then from there, you have your view of everything that's happening in the year that might be impacting the shop. You know when your busier times are, you know when your slow times are. Determine what your goal is. Obviously, we all want to say that our goal is to never have a slow day and always be booked out full and have every week and month like do better than the previous, or at least the previous of the like past year. But be realistic in setting a goal. We talk about SMART goals, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. I think I always mess up one of those. So acronyms or one of the words in that acronym. So Kim might have to correct me there, but determine a goal that is feasible for your shop to do. It might not be that it is the most groundbreaking year of your business. And if it is, like that would be amazing. But maybe you start with a goal of saying, I want to improve the slow times specifically around holidays, or I want to get more involved in the community and have a stronger presence. Because maybe your goal isn't directly tied to your ARO or your car count at the end of the year. Maybe it's tied to your community involvement or sponsorships or your brand awareness. How much do people in your community know you? So know what's on the calendar, know what's coming, and then determine what you want to accomplish with your marketing. What is it going to help you do? And from there, that's how you can break it down. I think that's like the mid step before you start looking at your strategies and your tactics to figure out how you're going to do it. You have to know what you're trying to do, and increase ARO or increase car count is not specific enough, unfortunately, unless you've got a specific number in mind and you know what you want to do. And you can then kind of reverse engineer what needs to happen to get there.
Chris, one other thing to throw in there. So when you're creating this, each month, each quarter, put that goal that Caroline is talking about, like write it out. And then also you have to go into this thinking, what is your marketing budget? We ask that in our discovery calls. So many people are like, I don't know what my marketing budget is. Well, you need to know that. And we have a blog. I just pulled it up to make sure that I'm not getting the numbers mixed up in my head. If you're looking for conservative growth, right? Maybe you are doing really well. You like where you are. You like where you're going. You like your pace. So you're just going to have a conservative marketing budget. That is going to be 5% of your annual revenue. If you want just average growth, right? I want to keep growing. I don't want to go too fast, but I just want to have average growth. That's 7% of your annual revenue. And then if you are looking at just killing it, I want to go all in. I want aggressive, fast, big growth. That is 9%. And we got these numbers from the SBA. So those are not Shop Marketing Pros made up numbers, but somewhere between 5. I mean, honestly, Shop Marketing Pros, y'all see our ads. I'm sure you do. We have a pretty aggressive budget and it's more than 9%. But think first, okay, what is my annual revenue and what type of growth do I want to experience this year? Now you've got the actual dollar figure. Then you can break that down by quarter, by month. And then like we were saying earlier, you can increase it in this month or decrease it in this month. So the budget is a big part of that as well.
I think Chris has a really cool approach to the budget, and it's not like fully the science everybody uses, but it's a good approach as well. And correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, but I think when you're talking about budget, especially for your own marketing or for shops you're working with, it's not just the budget of say 7 to 9% of where you currently are. It's 7 to 9% of where you want to be.
Of where you're going. Yeah.
Yeah. So hitting that point, this is what you need to spend to get to that point. So you need to be like as if you are so that you can be.
Yeah. And just to drive that home, like if your shop's doing 1.3 million, you want to do 2 million, then you need to budget for your marketing like you're a $2 million shop already and put that money aside. And it will happen. Like every shop that I've ever done that with, including my own currently, like we're hitting those types of numbers when you spend that way. So tons of great advice in there. I'm not going to fully take credit for this because I had nothing to do with it, but I'll say about 4 weeks ago, I sent you an email saying, hey, I want to do this podcast with you. And then you're like, yeah, Caroline and I should both do it. And it's taking us this long to get together. But then a couple of weeks after that, I saw, hey, we're doing Planning with the Pros. And so I'm sure that was already in the works, but maybe not. Maybe it was all me. I doubt it. But anyway, so talk about Planning with the Pros. And this is going to be a little bit early, but people need to get in before it fills up, right?
Yeah,
definitely. So Plan with the Pros is the Shop Marketing Pros conference, I guess you could call it, kind of like a workshop. This is our second year of having it. If you follow Shop Marketing Pros or you're friends with Kim or I on Facebook, you've probably seen or heard a lot about the event. Last year, it was invite only and only for women in the automotive industry. But this year, it is open to more people, open to men and women. And we'll be going to the Thayer Hotel again at West Point in October. So we always talk about planning in October. Was a weekend last year. Over that week, those couple of days, Kim, Brian, and I will be teaching you everything you need to know to create your marketing plan for the upcoming year. And you get to connect with other shop owners, plan with them, workshop with them. And there is some homework beforehand. You are going to have to come prepared. Like we talked about, knowing what's going on in your community. We can't be doing all of that in that time frame. But when you leave, you will have your marketing plan ready to be put in place for 2026. And we'll have registration open. It might be open already. I'm not going to say that. I don't know when this podcast is officially coming out, but this was all Kim's baby and idea from a couple of years ago. So I'll let you add anything else.
It is definitely something that I had on my heart a couple of years ago, and we finally decided, let's do it. So when we teach about hosting events at your shop, I turned our shop into an event venue, essentially. And so when I start talking about planning events, I tend to be a go big or go home kind of person, go all in. But I do say start small. And so we started small with Plan with the Pros last year. Again, Caroline said it was invite only. We did not promote it, publicize it. We did not put it out there. So by the time I wanted to intentionally keep it super small, manageable, to see what's working, what's not working, learn from it as we continue offering it, if we decided to continue offering it. So we had 11 ladies there, and they arrived on a Thursday. Caroline and I taught them the different parts of marketing, what you need for your plan, gave them the time, worked with them to create their plan. They presented their plan in front of the group before they left. And we still have a very active little Facebook private message, group message, where these ladies have become really good friends. They're holding each other accountable, and it was definitely a huge success. So yes, this year we are about to open up registration. We are doing a tiered approach, I guess, similar to our state fair. So we're first going to be inviting the people who came last year and our clients first. Then we will go to our Facebook group, promote it there, and to our friends in the industry, coaches, that sort of thing. And then the third tier will be wide open. We are definitely expanding the number, but it's still going to be small. We have 25 hotel rooms to fill. So that could be 25 people or 50 people. But I do believe that there's a lot of interest, in the seats, if you will, are going to go fast. So keep your eye on it. If you have questions, reach out. Also on our Facebook page, there is a photo album. And so when you see the photos of what we did, but it's all about, it came from the frustration of shops that were like, I don't know what to do with my hands right now. We're slow. What do we do? And we're like, well, what's your plan say?
But before we wrap this up and everything, your Facebook page is really, really good. I guess it's private, right? Like the private page. How can people go and request to be in that group?
Yeah, so we have our regular Facebook page, Shop Marketing Pros, that you can follow, but we also have the Auto Repair Marketing Mastermind group on Facebook. And if you just search that in the Facebook groups, you will see that you can join it. It's hosted, ran by our Shop Marketing Pros team. So you'll see there's like a Shop Marketing Pros logo on there, some information. You'll know it's us. You can request to join. There are some questions and rules you have to answer. You will not be accepted in if you don't answer them. So if you want to join that, but we do a monthly webinar in there and sometimes bi-monthly, but either with the Shop Marketing Pros team, or we try and bring an external person in every now and then, every other month or so, to have somebody else, a shop owner or somebody else in the industry, also talking about something going on with your marketing. But it's just a place for shop owners to connect on marketing. I know there are a lot of other Facebook groups for the industry that are also really great. Some of them are very like social, joking, helpful, and you can discuss things. Ours is that, but specifically for your marketing. We go in there to teach once a month, but we don't necessarily promote a bunch of anything else. We just let people talk and share and engage. And Chris, if we can, I can give you a link or something to drop into the show notes for it. But otherwise, you can
absolutely
just search it on Facebook. There's not a pretty short link or anything like that for it.
And I will say you guys do a great job moderating that group, because I know every once in a while some people slip through the cracks and then try to hit up the people for different things. I know Vision, I saw a post and I was like, Caroline, you got to kick these people out of there. And I think I've done that with Kim a time or two.
Yeah, we have a couple of moles that keep an eye out for us and send us messages. Very much appreciate that.
Yeah. So
it's just for shop owners or people managing the shop or who's doing the marketing in your shop. When we say keeping it secure and having those moles watch out for, it's that we're not promoting Shop Marketing Pros in there. There's not other people promoting other marketing. It's just truly to connect and help and provide for you guys.
I'm in the group, but when I'm in the group reading, I'm reading as Chris Cotton, owner of Firestone of Durango, not, I try to tell people what's working. Every once in a while, I'm like, hey, here, we're doing this, especially with the local service ads when we started doing that, some interesting stuff there. But
yeah, we do let some of our other industry friends in there, but for the most part, definitely, I say I'm very mama bear about that group. I mean, y'all, it is hard to build a group like that. We started this group, I swear, 2 years before. I think the date was 2017, and we didn't really launch Shop Marketing Pros till 2019. So it is hard work. And, there's a lot of groups like Caroline mentioned. Y'all all know this. And some of them are just like hysterical, lots of fun, goofing off. And we like to have fun in our group too, but we just want to be very protective of doing the right thing in there and the conversations. And
yeah, we're not going to talk about all these other groups and everything else. Like, I'll get into a group, but then I just leave. Some of them are just like out there. But anyway, so thanks for joining. Caroline, before we leave, do you have any final thoughts or anything you want to say to shop owners about marketing calendars, anything?
I feel like we covered everything. If you don't have one, make one. We have a lot of resources on our website and the Facebook group and at the Plan with the Pros event if you're interested in that to get one created. But I think we've covered everything else. It's a great thing.
And what's the website?
The website, ours is shopmarketingpros.com. We've got some, if you search marketing plan on, there's podcasts, classes, blogs, and all of that. And if Plan with the Pros is live, you can go to planwiththepros.com to get more information about registering.
So all free resources, you can go there and get that done. Yes. Awesome. Thanks, Caroline, for being a part of the show today. And Kim, I'm going to let you finish us off. Any final thoughts, anything that we forgot to mention that you want to pop in there now?
Yeah. So I get the last word, and my last word is do it scared. I just posted myself this morning about this with regard to like working out and post-back surgery, but so many people just don't do the marketing plan because they're scared of making a mistake, or I don't know how to get started. But just do it. Just get started. Done is better than perfect. We say that a lot. Put something on your calendar and get away from the shop and get it done.
I think that's very interesting That's not what I thought. When you said do it scared, in my mind, I'm like, do it scared like you're going to go out of business and you better get off your ass and make your marketing calendar and make something happen. That's what I've got from the do it scared. So
that's a good perspective.
Anyway, there you go. So thanks for joining us, ladies. Everybody out there, I hope you got something out of this, and you can do it with Shop Marketing Pros. You can do it on your own, but for crying out loud, just do it. Hey, I'd like to give another shout out to our sponsor, Shop Marketing Pros. They are the only marketing company I recommend, and they handle all of the marketing for my own shop as well. If you're serious about growth, you need strategies that actually work, better websites, higher Google rankings, and ads that bring real customers through your doors. I want you to go visit shopmarketingpros.com/Chris to partner with a team that understands your business, because every great shop deserves marketing that's just as great. Thanks for tuning in to the Weekly Blitz. Remember, it's time to rise, grind, and keep your mindset positive. Until next time, everybody, this is Coach Chris Cotton signing off. Have a great day.
You've been listening to the Weekly Blitz with Coach Chris Cotton on the AftermarketRadioNetwork.com. Follow Chris on your favorite podcast listening app. Let him know what you'd like him to cover. His email is in the show notes. Chris is all for advancing the aftermarket.